tracks, the Rio Hondo circuit, primed and ready for action there.
So 90 seconds then until the bikes will head out into the racetrack, and of course the riders would not. The Indonesian Grand Prix, Juan Mir. Boy, has he got some work to do, starting 17th on the grid, although he hasn't felt happy or comfortable at any stage really in the dry conditions this weekend, so perhaps a wet Grand Prix.
This hasn't been Juan Mir, likewise Fabio Quattro. They don't have an awful lot of wet weather experience. This is a journey into the unknown as well for the rookies, the likes of Marco Gardner, Darren Binder as well. They'd never raced a MotoGP bike in rain conditions. So Fabio Quartararo, for the first time in 9 long months, can't believe we're saying that, he was in this 20-lap Grand Prix, the number 20 flags waving proud in the Mandalika grandstands.
Just listen to the roar. This is what the crowd have been waiting for a good couple of hours now, since the Moto 2 race came to a conclusion with spots of rain in the air. They've seen plenty of rainfall since then. The green flag waves, and Johan Zarco leads the field out for this exciting lap. They'll do one lap to the grid, and then at 15 minutes past the hour, the Indonesian Grand Prix will be underway. World champion Fabio Quartararo starts from pole position. Just how much has his wet weather riding come on since last season? Of course, it was his difficulties in the wet conditions and mixed conditions that saw him start the Grand Prix that eventually concluded with him as world champion back at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix last year from 15th on the grid. Can he put those problems behind him and give his world championship defence the kickstart that it needs?
This is a massive step into the unknown for these MotoGP riders. They've done barely a handful of wet weather laps. Certainly the track wasn't as wet as this on Saturday morning. So this really is stepping into the unknown territory. Who's going to quickly master the conditions? Who's going to take the big risks? Jack Miller, well, you know that he's so good in the wet conditions. He's proven to be strong on the Ducati and the Honda in the past. Of course, it was mixed conditions, and he took that famous win at the Dutch TT in Assen back in 2016. Who else has got really strong wet weather prowess in this field? Frankie Morbidelli's actually not a bad wet weather rider. Other guys with nothing to lose really, Andrea Dovizioso, particularly on a factory Ducati, where you can always put your money on him to be a big threat in these rain conditions. You've got to say, the way that Fabio Quartararo has thrown that Yamaha around that second sector, there's been a lot of feedback from the World Superbike riders here and the Moto3 riders who had a couple of wet sessions, that the grip levels here in the rain at this Mandalika circuit are very good. Very good. When we first arrived here in Jakarta, the parade of 20 riders with President Mr. Widodo, it was like rock stars, wasn't it? And this was all part of what we hoped was going to be a really special grid ceremony to kick off the Indonesian Grand Prix. We saw the special grid ceremony for the first time precede the Qatar Grand Prix a couple of weeks ago. It was a real nice new feature. Even though they can't go on the grid and they can't perform out on the circuit, well, the band are still going to play the Indonesian national anthem. So myself and Lewis will just pause for a couple of moments. The race, of course, should have been over by now. Unfortunately, we're still waiting. We'll take another quick read as well and soak up what hopefully is the pre-race atmosphere of this marching band. positive news to bring you as well. It looks like the rain just has started to ease off. So that may getting the pictures that they'll cherish for many a year to come. Hopefully they'll get some pictures of MotoGP bikes on this Mandalika circuit. There has been a little bit of a break in the torrential rain. Let's hope those clouds can clear off and we can get some race action coming up. We can hear MotoGP bikes just being warmed up in the pit lane. That's got the fans cheering, and this will hopefully get us all cheering because the new schedule has just been released. There you can see on your screens, pit lane will open.